Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you my favorite books of 2022. I haven't really been making many videos lately because my small business has been doing really well and I'm so grateful, but didn't really have time to make journaling videos. I haven't even been journaling, but I have been reading at night, which is why I've been making more reading content. But I'm going to be doing both in the new year and I'm so excited. But yeah, let me get into my favorite books of 2022. I did narrow it down to a top 10, which was really hard, but I am going to cheat a little bit and give you 3 honorable mentions because I just have to talk about these. As of now, these are my 3 honorable mentions. The first one is All the Little Truths by S.J. Silvis. This is book 3 in the English Prep series. They are neighbors and they kind of had a little connection when they were going into high school, but then some things happened and they hate each other, or at least he hates her. But then obviously that doesn't stay true for much longer, and this has a lot of trigger warnings, so look into those before jumping on in. I just love Eric so much. Eric and Madeline, I love this so much. The second honorable mention is Wreck My Plans by Kelsey Clayton. I think this is the 3rd book in the North Haven University. I don't know if it's book 3 or book 2, but this is in the North Haven University series, which is a spin-off of the Haven Grace Prep series. I recommend both. These were so fun. I binged both series and I love this one. Was definitely my favorite. This is the only one I own physically in that series, and I reread it a few months after and annotated it. It was the best time. This is one of those romances where they can't love each other, but they are just so drawn to each other type of thing, and I just love it. And this has a line which, if you've seen Bridgerton, is just a little something else, where it says, "Carter Trayland is the bane of my existence," and that kind of just sums it up really. And then the 3rd honorable mention is the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. I just fully couldn't put this down. This is 5 books in one, but each book leaves off on a cliffhanger, and the first 3 books I believe are like 90 something pages, so I couldn't physically put it down. I was in love. This is about a guy who is an FBI agent and he meets a girl at a bar, and the girl turns out to be the serial killer that he is hunting. He doesn't know that, but we as readers know that. And it was so good. Definitely a lot of trigger warnings, but I honestly have been thinking about this ever since I read it, and I wish I reread it this month, but I didn't. I love it so much. We have my top 10 books of 2022. These are going to be in no particular order because I simply cannot rate them. I think my number 1, the last one I talk about, will be my number 1 of the year, but everything else is not really ranked. So let's just jump into it. First, I have Ignite Me by Tahira Mafi. This is the 3rd book in the Shatter Me series. I read the first book in like 2016, I think, and then I never touched book 2 because I didn't really vibe with the first book. This is a YA dystopian type of world, and then it always gets so much hype, and I was like, I own the first 3. Let me give it another shot. Read the first one, thought the same thing. Read book 2, and I was like, okay, I'm getting the hype now. And then I read this one, game changer, life changing, Aaron Warner, one of his kind. I did a whole reading vlog reading the first 3 books, and I want to do a reading vlog reading next 3, maybe next month. But wow, I think about this every day almost, and I've thought about Aaron Warner more times than I care to admit. I've realized that with him and Lauren Hale, my type of man is when he calls his significant other love. Why don't boys do that more often? I don't know. Anyways, the next one is Colleen Hoover, but this book I think is my favorite one out of all of her books that I've read. I haven't read all of them, but this one was so much more deeper and emotional, I think, than the rest of her books, and I cried at the end. I wasn't expecting to, but I did, and it was so emotional and I loved it so much. And I read this in February, I think, beginning of February, and it has stuck with me since then. So that says a lot. And then the first book I read in 2022 was Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. Normal People is one of my favorite books of all time, and it is definitely my soul book. Like, I think Miss Sally Rooney took my inner monologue and put it in Normal People. So I was like, let's start off 2022 with a bang. And although this didn't hit as hard as Normal People did for me, I still loved it with everything in me. The relationship wasn't my favorite. Like, I didn't ship them like I shipped Marianne and Connell, but I'm pretty sure that's the point of this book. And I still related to the characters in this just like Connell and Marianne. So Sally Rooney just has that way, and I decided that Beautiful World, Where Are You, which is her third book, is going to be my first read of 2023. So we're going to keep that little trend going. We're going to go in with, here's the thing. Before I continue, I do want to say there are a lot of internet favorite popular books on this list, and my goal for next year is to read more outside of the book talk faves, but that's just not what happened this year. I was too busy to go find new books, so sorry, but I will never apologize for being Emily Henry's fan. Like, she could write anything and I will read it, and this book was amazing. Again, I cried, which probably wasn't the goal of book lovers, but there were certain relationships in this book, specifically the sister-sister one, where they had these scenes and it just made me cry, and it made me so grateful for my older sister. And that's kind of why I got emotional about it, because the sister-sister bond in this one is kind of insane to me. I actually am in love with Charlie. He's a beautiful, beautiful man. He is either Dylan O'Brien or Logan Lerman in my mind. Mostly Logan Lerman when he has his gray hair. I don't really know why, but that's just who I picture. And I'm so excited. Off topic, but if we get a People We Meet on Vacation movie and it's Alex Isn't Callahan from Shadow and Bone, don't give it to me, please. Actually, give it to me, but I would prefer it to be Callahan. But yes, amazing. In love. I kind of want to reread all of Emily Henry's books at the moment, but hers are more summery vibes, so I'm kind of holding out. We'll see how long that lasts. And then I'm gonna go in with one that I didn't know if I was gonna love, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm just not that smart. And this is a thinker type of book. But I read If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, if that's how you say it. I buddy read this with my friend Taylor. This is her favorite book ever, and then I made her read Six of Crows because that's my favorite book. And I had the best time. This was also my first time buddy reading a book, so I think that also added to the experience. And she's read this multiple times, so if I was confused, she could explain things. And what I mean by the dumb part is there's a lot of Shakespeare. Shakespeare has a lot of parallels in this, and it talks about Shakespeare work and his words. And I just don't know Shakespeare that well. I read Romeo and Juliet in high school like you're supposed to, and that's it. But this gave off Dead Poets Society vibes, and that is one of my favorite movies ever. And the ending to this book, I needed a few days, I'm gonna be honest. I read it and I texted her and I was like, what the hell? I can't recommend this enough. Like, I want to reread it next fall knowing what I know about it now. I feel like a reread is going to make me love it even more, if that makes sense. It's just one of those books. Daisy Jones and the Six. I mean, if you read this and you didn't absolutely love it, I don't really know what that says about you, but this was everything to me. I cannot wait for the show. I don't know if I'm emotionally ready. This book was insane. This book was crack. I had this on my shelves for a while actually, and I didn't know if it was going to be my cup of tea because I was like, ooh, a 70s. Is it in the 70s? Whatever year it's in. Like, rock band. I just don't know if I'm going to like that. I couldn't be more wrong. I ate this book up. Loved every second about it. The quotes in this. The quotes. Unreal. And I'm excited to read more Taylor Jenkins Reid. I read one other book by her this year, but I need to read Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo because I feel like it will be next to this level of top tier amazingness. I'm just in love with Daisy Jones and I want her to love me back. I have The Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. Here's the thing, I don't know if I'm a dark romance kind of gal because some things that happen in dark romances I'm just like, what the fudge? This can't, like, this is odd to me. And that's why I put off Sophie Lark for so long, because I knew she wrote Mafia and I just didn't know if I was going to be into the whole Mafia romance genre. But my friend Ari texted me that she was reading this and that it was really good, and she kept describing how amazing it is. I was like, you know what? It's on Kindle Unlimited. Let me go pick it up. I read it in one night. It was so addicting and the premise just kept me on my toes, and the romance, definitely trigger warnings. There's some smut. Game freaking changer. I'm now a Sophie Lark fan. I've only read one of her books, so I gotta get on that. I'm about to read her whole backlist coming into the new year. Yeah, this one is about an arranged marriage. So they have to be together and then they fall in love after they're married. But it's just so good because they do hate each other. And the tension was quite literally everything to me. And now these top three are like my top books of 2023. Play With Me by Becca Mack. This is book 2. The first one is called Consider Me. I really liked Consider Me. I felt it was a bit too long, but it was still really, really good. I think I gave it like 4.5 stars. This book is brother's best friend, and it's a hockey romance, and they're forced proximity because they live in the same building, and the brother's like, oh, make sure she stays out of trouble type of thing, which kind of his fault that his best friend and sister started dating then if they do that. But I actually am transferring my highlights from my Kindle because I bought it physically. I loved it so much, and the humor in this is so funny. Sometimes it's a little cringe, but I kind of ate it up anyways, so keep that in mind. And then I read Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. This is the kind of book that you have to go in not knowing a single thing. I did that and it was life-changing. This, I'm not even going to give you a synopsis again because you need to go in this blind, but just know that the boy in this, unfreaking real. He has to be one of my top book boyfriends of all time now. It was just criminal how amazing he was. Like, I don't have words to describe how in love I am with this man. My top book of 2023. If you follow me on Instagram, this is no shocker. Not a single shock should be given if you follow me on Instagram. The Bad Reputation duet by Krista and Becca Ritchie. We all know that I love the Addicted / Calloway Sisters series with everything in my heart. I read it like 2 years ago, I think. I just love it. And then I found out that there was a spin-off of Garrison and Willow, and I was like, give it to me now. I got it and I binge read it. This is 2 books, by the way. This is 2 books in one. And Willow Hale is definitely a soul character for me. She's very much introverted into the nerdy stuff. She has a little bit of some family drama, and she is just the cutest freaking thing, and I think she's me reincarnated. When I'm reading this book, I'm like, wow, this girl is me. And I also thought that with reading Garrison, like when it was his POV and he was talking about how he feels about himself and with all of his family drama, I was like, wow, that's me. Like, you two are one of my soul couples, just like Lily and Lo. And that says a lot. These 2 are my second favorite couple in this world. I can't. I love them so much. So that's it. Those are my top 10 books of 2023. Let me know what your favorite books of 2023 were, because did I just say 2023? Those are my favorite books of 2022. Let me know what your favorite books of 2022 were. What is wrong with me? Anyways, yeah. I'm so excited for the new year because I'm ready to read so many amazing books. I'm just so pumped. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see you in my next video. Bye!